What is this?
All right. Do we got anything now? We should have sound now. Is that better? Let me know in the chat if you got it. That should be good.
Oreo says, "Fire the sound guy."
Sound is back. No, that was really weird. It literally.
What happened to the screen?
I had to move it over here so I could see.
That one's bigger.
It's farther away,
Fair.
and I'm old, so. But no, I can see sound. We should be getting it there. There we go.
Working.
All right,
Y'all
thank you,
just
guys.
missed the best story because we had no sound.
Yeah, we were literally talking
Insane.
about something.
Absolutely insane. Sorry, you just had to be there.
Yep. All righty. Okay, so you guys are good. We're good to start the intros.
Yeah.
Roll intro.
I'm ready.
Wait.
What are we waiting on now?
I'm putting it on Twitter.
Oh, good Lord.
He's got to tweet about it, everybody.
I mean, it's going to take me a couple seconds to get going anyway.
Oh, many seconds.
A few. I'm just going to go for
I
it.
want to make these look presentable.
Harrison Burton wins the Coke Zero Sugar 400. That's name is way too long. And locks himself into the playoffs. We had a lot of us there at the track, and we have a lot of things to talk about that went down at the track and on the track. We are here for the speed. I am glad to be with you guys. My name is DJ. What's up?
What's up? I'm Jake. Sunburnt Jake.
Sunburnt Jake. What is up, everyone? It's Matthew here. That's it. That's all I got.
That was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was a sad Brad day, so just Matthew today. We'll get on to next week.
I don't know. Brad was like, he had a point where I was like, oh, man, that sucks for him. And then it was like,
yeah, that was
whole penalty
bull. Thing. I mean, I saw it. It looked pretty bad.
So did you
watch
hear
the replay?
Whatever happened? I couldn't tell.
He jumped the restart.
Every time like they were talking about it, I was trying to go to MRN, and then, like I just could never get it down.
100% jumped the restart.
So what he was saying that he was saying the two spun the tires.
Oh, he probably did.
That's what he said.
Probably did, or just it was after the restart zone. The two did not launch. Like for whatever reason, it was something going on, and he was a car length out before.
So
they left the tri-oval.
I think they were saying on the broadcast at least that it was I forgot who was behind Cindric, but he hit him or whatever, and that's what got Cindric loose, and that's probably why he spun the tires and why Brad may have launched. But NASCAR reviewed it, and they were like, "Nope, you got to go." So he served.
That was one quick call, NASCAR. Man, y'all ready for that one? Thanks.
They also,
appreciate it.
They also got another one that was really quick too.
Yeah,
the yellow line call. They reviewed that one real quick.
Frustrating.
So yes, so Harrison Burton wins the race.
So there's just no rules for anyone in first.
No,
can you just ride anywhere you want?
No, I mean he did have contact from Kyle.
Part of the letter of the law.
So he lost control of his vehicle.
No, he kept it.
He can drive where he wants.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's NASCAR.
Whatever, man.
Like what you expect?
You're not going to penalize a guy who breaks a rule, but you are going to penalize a guy who doesn't break any rules. It makes no sense.
I do think it. Hold on. Doesn't break any rules. What would you call last year's Coke 600 or Coke 400?
I'm talking about Austin Dillon.
Oh, I'm talking about Brad spinning and doing donuts.
No, I'm
on
talking
the
about Austin
backstretch.
Dillon, where he technically broke no rules, but they're like, hey, by the way, I'm going to take that one from you. So
yeah. I do kind of wish that it was somebody like Chastain or Austin Dillon behind him, because they would have 100% wrecked Harrison for the win.
Oh, 100%.
I love that Kyle.
I don't know what this nice guy Kyle act is, but that needs to go away.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know.
He had kids.
Ask his fanboy.
Yeah.
Where's Louis?
Yeah, Louis. What the heck? What's up, Jason? How's it going? Yeah, so I don't know. There was a lot of different things that happened. We'll get into all that. We're going to talk briefly about you guys being there. Mm-hmm. So we had a pretty good-sized crew there. I wasn't there. You two were there. We had Lewis, Jeff.
Parker stopped by
Parker,
for a day.
Your brother-in-law.
First time in a long time.
Jeff didn't make it. He didn't make it.
I thought he was there. Oh,
he was going to, but he couldn't.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So then we had your Brother Speed. Yep. Josh was there.
First time doing Daytona for real.
I thought he had been before.
COVID. Nothing happening.
He went to the Clash when it was still in Daytona, right? Okay, that's what it was. Okay.
That was before we knew anybody.
That was like 20.
Yeah.
Now we know a whole bunch of people, and we can have fun all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So, what? Any fun stories that you're allowed to share? I'm sure there's ones you can't. No,
man.
Am I putting you on the spot?
I do have to say, what was it? Thursday morning, right?
When did you guys get there?
Wednesday
left
night.
Wednesday night. So
we got there what, 7 7 p.m. on Wednesday?
Yeah, right around there. We left around 5-ish and got there around 7.
By the way, fun fact, Back in Black apparently is copyrighted on YouTube. I got a notification. That video got hidden real quick.
On the radio?
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't even like nice audio.
No, it pulled it from the radio, so I put a thing on YouTube to try to...
Whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to do it every time anyways.
Yeah, I know.
Every morning they run the Richard Petty experience. You don't understand. It's from like 7 a.m. to like 3 p.m., right? Because there's nothing going on, no track time. They're just running this stuff. Well, Thursday was pretty much overcast the whole day, and it was on and off raining. I swear they had cars going while it was raining in like
100%.
I don't know what they were thinking, but there were straight up cars all the way around, and it's pouring rain.
Rain was running down the windshield of the RV.
Yeah,
they're still out there just getting it.
I'm like, this
and
is wow.
It's not like the sun. It was all cloudy. The sun hadn't been out, so there wasn't no heat in the track.
No, it was cold. This was genuinely a cold August trip for us.
That's
like
wild.
Until yesterday.
Yeah, Saturday got hot. Saturday got hot real quick.
Hot.
But the first 2 days, very enjoyable.
Yeah, it really was. It was like, honestly, besides Thursday morning, it was a very dry weekend too.
Yeah.
It's like the first time we left, and I'm like, I hope we don't get stuck in the mud.
Yeah, I think you bought rain boots, right?
Never used them.
I bought rain boots two trips ago, and I still haven't used them once. It's been dry at Daytona. I don't know what's been going on.
It's because you bought the rain boots.
Ever since they had that giant wreck since what was it, 2022?
Yeah.
Since 2022, it's like barely rained at Daytona. It's like they're like, oh, we really messed up on that one.
Except for in the 500 where me and Nate were trapped in the RV all day because it was thunderstorming.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I had bronchitis. I was like on life support, man. I was dying in February.
Okay, so you guys were there. So you guys got to watch both races and everything. Got to watch the Xfinity and the Cup.
Yes.
What was it like? Because I know one thing I noticed is I felt like Xfinity, there was no one in the stands.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
it was weird.
I said that to Matt. I was like, where is it? Because that's normally like a decent crowd, but it was like, man, it felt low.
It did.
But then Saturday felt pretty good.
It looked good.
Saturday, I mean, I feel like that was one of the better August crowds I've seen in a long time.
Keep in mind, the problem with the summer race, of course, is because it has to have seating for the 500. There's a ton of seats there, so the summer race never really looks that good.
Right.
Well, you have two different crowds. You have everybody coming from all over the world for the 500,
right?
And you see people from everywhere. And then, like, we're walking around, partying, having fun. And when you're getting to meet new people and you're asking where they're from, everybody is from here. Like, this is like the local race.
Yeah.
So you have like the 500s for everybody, and then this is like all the locals go to this race.
They're the only ones that can survive the summer.
I mean, yeah, you're probably not wrong.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably. And, well, let's see. Hold on. No, summer is before Super Bowl, so there you still have, like, right now is football maybe causing an issue there, but no, it wouldn't be a thing for the 500.
I do have to say, I think we've talked about it before, watching the Super Bowl from Daytona is amazing.
Yeah.
That is one of the most fun experiences you'll ever have. There's always a party. There's always a tailgate or something going on. And you just go from place to place. And you just enjoy the game.
Everyone will have it on.
Watch a quarter here, watch a quarter there.
Go, see friends. It's really cool going. And it's typically lighter because it's like a week before the 500.
Yeah.
So it's maybe half
capacity.
Yeah. So you got a lot of like breathing rooms.
Camping wise.
Yeah.
Like in the camping
but like traveling too. It's like, during the 500, like it's hard to just drive down the road.
Oh yeah,
it's packed.
No,
even walk.
At a certain point, you have to just start walking everywhere.
Yeah,
yeah.
The haulers, like there was one night haulers were trying to come in, like just the generic, NASCAR haulers, Sunoco haulers were coming in, and they were on the horns yelling at people like, "Get out of the road! Get out of the road!" And I think I was talking to Jake. I was like, for us, this is a vacation. This is a party. This is, I was like, that guy's working. Like, he's not happy about this. He wants everyone out of here. He just wants to do his job and go home or do his job and go to bed for the night.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So, now qualifying, I believe wasn't that rained out?
No. Everything got played. Everything.
Okay. No, it didn't rain at all on Friday. Everything went per the schedule.
Okay.
I do feel like Xfinity qualifying started like 5 or 10 minutes late. I don't know why. There was no weather. There was no nothing. I guess Tech for Xfinity got, probably Cup 2 because it was on Friday. got delayed like a couple hours.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was then. I don't know. I thought there was something, but I guess not. So, okay. So let's talk about the big event, the race.
We talk about Friday or Saturday first?
We're going to talk about the Cup, and then we'll drop into Xfinity.
There's really not much to talk about Xfinity.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, do you want to just hit that one first?
We can.
get it out of the way?
I have no notes.
I
have
don't either.
nothing memorable.
The only thing that someone put in there was lackluster.
Yeah, that's probably
It was pretty lackluster. I mean, there's some accidents, there's some wrecks, some big names definitely got taken out. Like Austin Hill got taken out super early.
Lap one.
Lap one.
Yeah.
lap 3.
Oh yeah, the
turn,
lap one
turn
wreck.
3 of lap
yeah,
1.
it was lap 1, wasn't it?
That I wonder if that contributed because there was a couple really good cars that got taken out from the kick.
Right up front.
Yeah.
Either
Yeah.
that or everyone was like, "Oh man, maybe we need to settle down" or something like that.
I
Kinda
think
Who
he
won
was
the
sent to-
Xfinity race? I don't remember.
Ryan Truex in the
Truex.
20.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, the racing addict boys are like that.
Yeah.
So
But no, I'm pretty sure Austin Hill got sent to the back too because he was late to his car. Like he was still like all the cars left pit road and his car was still sitting there and he wasn't there. Maybe he had to do a bathroom run or something like that.
Maybe.
But I think that made him start in the rear, right? And if he had to start in the rear because of that, like he wrecked out because he was in the rear.
if it was because he had to take a poop real quick at the end or something, can you
It could have
imagine?
been. Like you just don't know.
Can you imagine?
His
It's like,
car was sitting there just
I wrecked,
on pit
I wrecked
road.
because I had to take a dump.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
miserable. Yeah. So I mean, Xfinity, there wasn't a whole lot.
It was really cool in the
That
beginning
happened
because we were able to very quick. We ran over to the infield or fan zone, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
And we got to see the 91 boys. That was cool. You know,
Yeah.
got to go say hi to
Speaking
them.
of the 91 and the 92, man, Weatherman was looking real nice.
Yeah, he was doing
He
really,
was doing
really,
really good. I was like, man, like at one point I think he was in like the 5th or 6th.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
good luck. That's all it is.
That's true. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And
Definitely
was, yeah, it must be the guys that build the cars there. DGM, I hear, hires the best people.
So
Never mind.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add about Xfinity? Anything?
Saturday was fun when we did.
How was it taking the new guys?
Fun, always fun.
Yeah.
Talk about Parker and Josh.
Yeah.
Well, Parker used to be a race fan.
Like
what a
years
long
ago.
time ago.
Yeah.
yeah, like I mean, he was like, last time I was at Daytona, Dale Jarrett was supposed to run the UPS track.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
I was like, whoa, it's been a minute. You old Parker.
Yeah.
And then Josh has been for a summer race, and then I'm trying to think. That was his first time really getting to camp and do all that. Josh went with us to Bristol this year.
Yep.
That was fun. So not so much like new first time.
Did they pick up any? Did they like become fans of anybody specifically?
No,
Who did Josh say?
I mean, he was Ricky
I
Stenhouse
don't
We did
last
that.
time.
We did that video of who our picks were tonight. Oh man,
I don't
he did something
remember.
Funny. You got to go on Instagram and find it because his answer was hilarious because we started dying laughing.
I don't even remember. I didn't even remember seeing that, but I didn't check.
Hopefully, it
Instagram.
got posted.
I
Might not have.
I don't know.
I don't think it did, but I mean, maybe it did. And I just missed it. Parker, does he have a driver?
Not really.
No.
No, I mean, well, we were there for Xfinity, and you already got to be
Yeah.
invested in NASCAR. I think to root for Xfinity because you got to, the Cup guys. You just it is what it is. The Cup guys are everywhere. The Xfinity guys, you got to really like hone in
Look
on,
into 'em.
watch their careers, see how they come up in the sport. So I don't think Parker really had a driver that race.
and a tag onto that, like you were saying, so many big personalities left Xfinity last year
It's so sad.
that even like it was hard to even kind of get invested in the Xfinity race this year because you're like,
But you
I
root
didn't
for
like, yeah, like
like we always rooted for Gregson. Ty Gibbs was always kind of the enemy there. That was your
yeah,
your
you had your heel.
yeah.
know?
Who else came up? Was Zane Smith in Xfinity? There's a few. Hocevar
Custer was the other guy that got in that early wreck.
Yep.
So you had Custer and you had
And now
Austin
Custer's
Hill
out.
knocked out in the beginning.
And now Custer's going to be leaving.
He's out, yeah.
So
but
it's like Xfinity,
so
man.
you
There's
had
just not a
the
lot of
big
big
names of the race were knocked out or at least hurt early, and then you had totally lost my train of thought. Oh,
Austin
okay.
Hill.
The few big names you still have got all pretty
wrecked
much
out.
knocked out, and
Yeah.
then so you just didn't like. We were just like switching through the radio, like there just wasn't really anybody to really pull for. I mean, I was pretty much on 91 radio the entire time.
Yeah.
But
I was
For
trying
the
to.
fantasy, I had Chandler Smith, so I was like, yeah, this is cool because he finished second. So I was like, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great for me. I'll take it.
Lame.
Yep. So, all right, let's move on to Cup. So, okay, so getting into Cup, a lot of things happened in stage one. I believe I heard it correctly on the broadcast, so if I'm a little off on this, sorry. But they said after the end of stage 1, it was the most lead changes they had ever had in stage 1 at this race in 13 years.
Well, it's
That's
not 13
awesome.
years because we haven't had stages that long. But
Okay,
Let's just say 8.
but there was
in that amount
so,
of laps, maybe. I don't know.
talking about that note, I need you to help me out here.
Yep.
All the radios that we were listening to, which was mainly I was listening to Ross till he got wrecked, and then we switched over to. We actually listened to Brad a ton in stage 1.
I
So
love
you and
listening to
Lewis were in the grandstands.
Yeah.
So me and Josh were at the camper. So we stayed on the infield. I didn't have the broadcast. We were watching just kind of the live feed on the prompters and the cars go around. So I didn't have a lot of information coming in.
And if you didn't have the paper, your radio didn't work.
Yeah.
Every frequency changed, except for
Really?
like your BJ McLeod's.
Really?
Everyone was different.
Wonder why. Interference of some kind, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe they found
guess.
something.
So, was there? Did you see fuel saving and stuff during the race?
No.
Did they talk
Not
about
for
it
the
at all?
first-
I didn't see it at all.
No.
Minimal. Like
so
if
what
you
it,
were.
what it looked like to me was, and I think to be honest, I think there may have been planned to be that. But some of it they were saying on the broadcast was because of Michael McDowell. McDowell did not want to save, and it was kind of forcing the rest of the
What a
group
hero.
not to.
I feel like a lot of I didn't hear anybody like okay, so we went to Talladega this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to the radio, and everybody was giving their drivers orders on where to be to save fuel. Blah blah
yeah.
blah blah blah. And I had told you guys after the Toyotas flipped the script on everybody, like, oh, you're gonna save fuel. We're going to play your game into the last stage, and they did the whole single file
Yeah,
thing.
which
and
looked
the way-
really good.
Yeah, and that was going to shape out to where they're going to do like what Stuart Haas did years ago and just beat the whole field by half a lap.
Yeah.
It was trending that way. So I was thinking this race, no, people might not do that because you don't want to get caught like that,
Yeah.
right? So I was listening for like the whole fuel saving thing, and I never really heard
So
it. Like if you were 3-4 cars back when they were 3 wide,
Yeah, but that makes sense.
at that point you're not going anywhere.
It was-
save fuel.
it-
Yeah,
came
run
up-
75 and call it good.
Yeah.
It came up during stage 3 where you had a longer stint. The first half of stage 3, they were definitely talking about it.
Yeah.
And they were bringing it up because I think it was Justin Haley was about 10 cars back. It was when they got to the single file. It was about 10 cars back, and he was 40% throttle. And I forgot, I think it was Stenhouse leading at that point, or I don't remember if Stenhouse was leading. Someone in the front was full throttle the whole time.
Yeah,
And
if
so
you're
they-
in the front line, you're going to run full.
And they were
if you're in
talking
the front
about
of
that.
the line, you
But
have to
yeah,
run full throttle.
even during this fuel savings section, the guy at the front wasn't saving. They were pushing it.
Yeah.
No, they were flipping.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. So no,
but-
there was nowhere near, and so that's where
It seemed like even half, like when they kind of got single file, it was like half the field was down to save, but then the other half wasn't, which is when you saw the second
Yep.
line come rocketing right back up.
exactly.
And then at that point, you can, I mean, maybe try to save 10, 20%.
I will say
throttle
that I
at
think
most.
the cautions and the wrecks that happened when they did prevent that, because there was a couple points where, if there's a wreck, well, everyone's going to come down and get gas anyway. So there's
What's
not
the
really
point?
there's no really huge advantage to saving at this point.
Did they say anything about the 3-wide racing in relates to they don't do that very much at Daytona now? Because since the
Not
Gen
in that
7
sense.
has been around, Daytona's been a very two-lane race.
Two-lane.
Well,
And
Talladega was the same thing unless they were fuel saving.
No, they
This
stayed
was what
3.
5 laps in, 8 laps. They
And
were 3 wide
They
the whole way
stayed
around.
for a while.
I was like, "Whoa, what a flip screen!" I was not expecting that, to be honest.
So
I was like,
the
"Oh, this is
whole
gonna be
thing,
cookie
it's-
cutter at this point."
Like when they ran wide open, they could only run 2 lanes. Not last night for some reason. Last night they were all running hard and able to run 3 wide. So I maybe that shark fin did help.
I'm about it.
So
Whatever
Kyle,
happened.
I saw a thing on social. Kyle Busch made a comment that with the fin they do have more stability, maybe in the draft and stuff like that as well. But so
Yeah.
he was all for it because when they tested it, I guess they tested it a while ago,
That's Charlotte.
something like that. He said the cars were more stable to begin with.
that's
Do we
good.
know if that's just going to be a rule change for this weekend or is it going forward?
I mean, I
Because
don't.
they flipped in Michigan, so is this like a thing going
I
forward?
don't see
Let me
what
call
the
the
point.
France family. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't see why not go ahead and
You
throw
know,
it
I
on
saw
there.
Frank. I should have asked him. No.
I don't, but no, I don't see why you don't just leave it on there. I
If
mean,
you guys know in the chat, let us know because I am curious. I saw
I
they
haven't
made
heard
it for
anything.
this
So you're
race. I
telling me
don't
the
know.
only thing Harrison Burton needed was a little bit more stability, and he was a race-winning car.
No,
apparently.
he's a beast now.
He's a beast.
It's
that's
over.
it. That was it.
RFK will be calling next week.
Probably. So yeah, so tons of lead changes. I
Harrison
didn't.
Young money. Burton.
Oh my gosh, you guys probably haven't. Or did you guys listen to
Hung Money?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I just listened to that like yesterday or the day before, and I was
Oh
like,
my
"What
gosh.
the heck?"
Wow.
Yeah, if you don't know about Hung Money, go look at DBC.
Yep.
It's
It's
freaking hilarious.
So apparently that's Kyle Larson's new nickname. So yeah, 13 lead changes. 13. The most lead changes in 13 years.
Asterisk.
Yeah. Suarez catches on fire after Denny Hamlin's car backfires while trying to leave his box and
That was
ignites
wild.
Is
fuel in
that
the
race
ground.
manipulation?
I don't know. So,
I think it is.
so.
I
This
mean,
is
they do it in
what's,
Speed Racer. It's fine.
so
Hey, he's a little too fast out there. Just set his car on fire. Commit arson.
no, dude, it was weird. So I don't remember if I got a video of it or not, but they showed like an overhead of what happened.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
got stacked up on the pit.
And so they tried to roll forward so that way Hamlin could get out or whatever. But when that happened, he still couldn't make the turn. So I guess when he downshifted or something or shifted, let off the gas, fire comes out of his tailpipes, and there was gas on the ground. It lights it on fire and it trails back up.
It looked
to,
like a cartoon the way it just
it
like
did.
rolled all the way
it
around
just
to the
rolled
car.
right up to the car, and then the whole car was on fire, and then there was like
It was
nothing.
funny because like when we were in
Every
the
kid was
stands,
watching. They're like, "Huh, it does work."
No,
we were watching from the stands, and you just saw this little orange glow just going around the track. Like you could see it so clear, like
Here
a
he
bright
goes.
light. I'm like,
Dang,
I don't
Suarez
think
is
that's
on
going out.
fire
so
tonight.
what's funny is he got back. He
Do
came back.
circles like Brad.
That'll put it out.
That's the only way to get rid of it. You got to do circles.
It's
What is
it's the
Suarez
vortex.
doing?
It's the vortex theory.
So did y'all see the 43? Well, okay, so he comes down pit road.
Yep.
And I knew this, right? I'm sure we all did, right? As he's coming down, like it's flaming up. I'm like,
it's bad.
When he slows down, this is going to get way worse because all you do is just fuel it with 100-mile-an-hour wind.
Yes.
So this is going to be bad.
That man got out of that car so fast.
Yeah.
He hopped out.
I will say, like, it's funny.
I was like,
They
he's
showed
probably-
the in car of him getting out, and I was like, I'd be moving a little quicker if that was me.
You
My
think so? I thought he
was
went
just-
pretty quick.
Well, he did, but it's just like the way he was just like, he goes to take the steering wheel off, but then it's like almost like, no, I think we got it because he's like puts it back on, and then it's just like, nope, clip it off,
Absolutely
put
not.
it up, starts unbuckling, takes the thing down. I mean, it's literally like
Taking
this.
his time.
Really?
And I was like, but then the guy gets him and just yanks it out. I wonder if Suarez didn't know it was as bad as it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
Because
We
he
were
just
tuned
saw
in
it.
the radio, and the spotter's like, yeah, we're on fire. And then the spotter's like, yeah, I think you're going to have to get out, dude. And you can see Suarez just like, not yet.
I refuse.
So NASCAR actually did say that they could start running again if they because after it went out.
car was
Lewis
toast.
is like looking at the stand. He's like, how come all these guys are off, but he's out, but he's only off? I was like, well, he wasn't part of the crash. He was like, yeah, but his car's on fire.
Doesn't
He's
matter.
like, but technically, if they replaced it, he could come back out. He's like, so if you're in a crash, you're on a clock, but if you catch on fire, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, okay.
So yeah, but
NASCAR
anyway,
rules.
the car was ended up. They determined it was just way too far
it
gone.
was junked.
Yeah, there was no
Yeah,
chance.
no way.
So he catches on fire.
Did you see like the next pit stop? The 43 caught on fire?
No.
Did they show that on TV?
Yeah,
No, I didn't
think,
see that one.
I think so.
So Suarez, when he left pit road, is a little flame, not big.
Yeah.
It was big at first, and once he got up to pit road speed, it went down, and then got way bigger as he started going around and then slowed down.
Right.
The 43, this was hilarious. They're a little bit on fire, leaving their pit stall, and they pull in to like the first pit stall, and they're just kind of waiting. And I guess the spotter's like waiting for it to die down enough. And he's like, ready, go. And he just guns it out of pit road, but he's close enough to where he won't speed, and it literally puts the fire right out.
What?
Oh,
Yes.
that's weird.
They practiced
And
that?
I was like, why are so many cars on fire? What is going on?
Yeah, that was a little weird.
hot night.
The next rule update is non-flammable wraps.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, kind of makes you wonder because that wrap we got toast.
That underwing that all burnt, that carbon fiber, whatever,
Yeah.
does not smell good.
Oh,
We
really?
were covered in the black smoke.
Ooh.
Not very good.
Gross.
Not nice.
What's the next big thing that happened to the race?
I will say that I did like Suarez's paint scheme, and man, it was fire to begin with, but
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
think that
really
was the
cool.
fire they were looking for.
No,
Really
a little too
cool.
hot.
Yeah. But no, the other thing I have for stage one is Josh Berry, man. He was up front multiple times throughout the whole race, but like first stage, he looked like a solid contender pretty much at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple people up there that aren't your normal
Yeah.
run-of-the-mill guys. Well, we had the first big wreck on lap 15 or so. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
And then all 400 cars were in that crash.
Yes.
You had who else was in that crash? Ross was in
couldn't
that
see
crash.
it.
That
Yep.
sucked. There was, I mean,
How Ross managed to salvage their day to what he got a 12th place finish is on. Well, I mean,
Great.
other than just surviving, but
that's what he did at the end. He just rode in the back because he had no speed.
yeah. But hey, like still,
But
no, go ahead.
that we had the big crash that again, almost kind of similar to Xfinity. Took out a lot of people, but at the same time, like I just, the Cup Series, the parity is so much closer and everything to where.
Yeah.
But my big takeaway from stage 1 and 2 was Justin Haley.
Yes. So
He was driving like an animal.
I made a comment at one point, and I'm like, if you had told me that Rick Ware would be leading a race last year, even you would have been the biggest idiot to me.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Who would have? And he wasn't like, oh, he got up there by chance, and he held it for a while. I think he at one point was second in laps led to Logano.
Yeah,
I mean, he was
Wow.
at
Really?
one point. I don't know if he finished that way, but at one point he had a lot of laps.
Still,
led.
that's a lot to say, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he has won at Daytona, so
Yeah.
it counts.
I
I mean,
Counts. We
it
were
do-
there.
it does count.
we were there.
Yep.
Jake doesn't like talking about it.
No,
Very salty.
strike me
Still.
with lightning. I signed the waiver. But was it? He remind who he remind me of? Jamie McMurray. Fast up
Yep.
front, but late blocks. Crazy
Oh.
moves.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, this is like nostalgia right here. Like,
Is that you,
with the
McMurray?
binoculars.
Is that you?
Wait a minute. I'm confused.
All right, what's your next one, DJ? What's your next
so
note?
that was all-
DJ had to take all the notes because we were
There was
not
no
able
chance.
to.
Um,
I know colleague had issues. SVG's engine
so
imploded.
that
Isn't
thing was,
that where you were?
I'll get to that one. That one.
Actually, yes, I was. I was on top of
So
the colleague van.
that was in stage 2. So a massive wreck in stage 2 with 18 cars involved. That started from LaJoy's push into Noah.
Is that how that happened?
Oh, was that stage 2?
That was stage 2.
That's the one that got Ross, right?
That was, I think, the one that got Ross.
Yeah, that was trash.
Yeah. So no. So
Corey LaJoy, bro.
in
Jeez.
LaJoy's defense, I don't remember who was behind him. Someone was like right on him, pushing him. So
It's probably Logano.
Did y'all see the thing later?
No, it was-
Did you
it
see
was
the
someone
thing
else,
later
yeah.
in the race where he almost comes up in front of the field? Off of
no,
pit
I
road?
didn't see that.
Bro, time to go, homie.
Sorry, Mitch. But
yeah, sorry, Mitch, but golly.
Yeah, so a massive wreck. That one was huge as well. So that took out that one had 18 cars involved, and a lot of them
Yeah.
had major damage. That was not a minor one for sure. I will say later in that stage we had another caution with about 15 left to go, which is now we get to talk about NBC doing their side-by-side coverage.
Oh, how was it?
I will explain to you in this example. So they go, okay, we're going side by side. Immediately caution, and I saw the whole thing.
Oh, that's nice.
They did not pull me back from the thing. They let it go,
Yeah, I mean,
which whatever.
Corey wasn't flipping this time. So.
Yeah. So, but I saw it the whole time. It honestly didn't even. It felt very seamless. Now they still did, obviously, like when they were on caution laps and stuff, they would go to full screen commercials, which
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine.
That's
fine.
totally fine. To be honest, there was one point during the broadcast where they kind of did like not necessarily like the side by side, but they kind of shrunk the screen and did like a Coke Zero Sugar.
There
like
was a
banners.
screen playing the whole
Banners.
time, though.
But yeah, completely during green flag. And the weirdest one with that one was it was the broadcaster still went, but it was like they were highlighting the sponsor. That was a
That's cool.
little weird.
Hey,
They're
what
probably
else?
just working and talking about what they're going to do when they come back.
You know what? Don't really care because I never missed green flag racing. It
That's
was
cool.
Me
perfectly
neither.
fine. It was perfectly.
No, that's awesome.
I know.
This whole thing with it was Daytona
Next 3
yesterday.
races.
Yep.
It's not the next race. It's Atlanta, which is 2 weeks, and then Talladega.
I don't.
I thought it was the next 3.
I don't understand
Maybe
why they
next
don't
week
just
Super
do it on
Speedway.
all of them.
No, I mean that's what I said.
based
Just do it
based
all.
off of what I've seen, there's no reason why they can't.
You probably watch more commercials in
Yep.
this race than you have all year.
Yep, because I will tell you, I started the Xfinity Series race about an hour and a half late, so I was going back through and watching it, and commercial, skip through.
How many Blue Chew commercials?
Believe it or not, I did not see. I did not see any.
Was it a bunch?
Nope, not this time.
Our neighbors are subscribers. No.
So I didn't see any of that.
Wow,
But no,
goose.
anyway, so like for Xfinity, I skipped through it. But like with the Cup race, I think I started maybe 10, 15 minutes late or something. So I did have to skim through a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was mostly like the caution laps or stuff like that. Like it was great. I don't understand. Now that they've proven they can do it, why are we not doing this at every race?
Yeah, it's just got to be
It's
some
coming.
kind
Maybe
of.
they're
It's coming.
testing it.
There's
Yeah,
got
it's
to be
coming.
some kind of study that says the full screen is more beneficial somehow.
Well,
some
I'm
way,
sure
but
it is.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I imagine it plays into the whole like, how do I want to say it? Like the TikTok, Instagram, videos where they have like 2 videos playing or
Yes.
something like that, and like one's like someone fidgeting around, and then the other video's like the actual content. I imagine it has to do something like
Yeah,
that
you
because
can
those
list-
are always like,
You can listen to the story and watch something else.
yeah, it's weird.
No,
so
there's an algorithm. There's a metric for
they're
that. The
probably
way
just
you do
trying
that,
to bring that in.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, whatever. That
No,
works.
it makes
I'm
perfect
totally
sense.
fine with that.
When
Keep
we
it on there.
Brainwash.
Because there's nothing more confusing or worse than when they go full screen commercial. Then we come back and there's cars all over the track, and you're like, "What happened? Who got hit?
Where's
my,
Ross?
Is my driver okay? Is Ross okay? Did someone flip this time again? Because that apparently happens all the time now. So
That's normal.
Apparently, it's
That's-
normal
and
now.
nobody talks about it.
Yeah. So no, I was very much a fan of that. Also, don't have this in the notes, but I don't remember his name. Who's the guy who took over for Allen?
Duffy.
Lee Duffy. Lee Duffy. Oh my gosh, I've been screwing this up all weekend. Lee Diffie.
Lee
Lee
Diffie.
Diffie.
He was great.
was he good?
He was
Yeah,
honestly
the
great.
couple clips I heard of his calls was incredible.
I'm not gonna lie, much better than Rick Allen.
Yeah.
Really?
No,
And
you
I
heard,
like
you heard
it.
the call at the end of the race?
Oh, it was amazing.
Jeff Burton, your little boy is gonna win or whatever. I was like, that's
So
cool.
they
That's
sho-
gonna be a highlight.
So
for
did
a
you
long
see the
time,
video?
Unless he gets
Did
canned.
you see the? Did you see
Oh
the,
wait, he did.
Did you see the video that NASCAR released from the view inside the booth?
Yeah,
That was super
I love
cool.
that for Jeff Burton.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was the
fun.
most emotion I've ever seen him show toward his son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
So, I mean,
oh
like-
yeah, I mean, well,
Yeah.
never mind.
If
The
you
Burton
want,
Continuum.
listen,
Normally-
to,
normally-
listen to the Burton Continuum on Spotify.
If you have, you know that he's normally doing this and yelling at him. Did you listen to it?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's rough. It's rough.
It's rough.
Tough love.
So yeah, no, Lee Diffie, huge fan of him. I actually the only it was kind of weird listening to a
Watching
British voice
Doing
watching NASCAR,
Yeah.
but he was incredible. The excitement in his voice that he puts into, and they go 3-1, like just
What's,
he brings so much excitement.
The biggest praise I heard, like a lot, like nobody had anything bad to say about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
There's no, I saw no tweets that said we miss Rick Allen. None.
No, sorry.
Sorry, Rick.
But they said
a rough
that
one.
the biggest credit to Lee was the amount of research. He knew all the backstories of every driver. He knew every driver's sponsor. He knew everything about everybody.
Yep. The only
Like
my
he
only,
was completely prepared, like he has been calling races all year.
My only critique really was you could tell the flow with the crew wasn't quite there. There's a couple points where he would
He
like.
didn't even get practice with him.
Oh, I agree. So he would like get halfway through like a like a sentence or whatever, and kind of get toward the end, and then it was just like, they did the thing, and it was just like a little like he didn't quite know like who am I handing off to, who's up next, like
Yeah, that'll come with time.
Which honestly, yeah, give it a little bit of time and he'd be fine. So no, I was very very happy. Thought he was great. It was awesome.
Two questions. Or one at least. JFB asked, why did they get rid of Rick Allen? I don't know.
That
Not
was
sure.
really weird. Does he have anything to do with Junior in the Amazon thing?
Maybe.
But why would you work half the year and dip? I don't know.
Right
Maybe.
before the playoffs, like
so Amazon and Dale Jr. get Lee Duffy.
after this week, yes, I hope they get Lee Diffie. That would be amazing.
I feel like we're saying his name wrong now. I've
I've-
thought about, like when you think about how to spell an easy word too much
Yes.
and it looks wrong. Yeah.
Yep.
Now I feel like we're doing it wrong.
I don't know. I didn't know his name, so I was just
Well,
going to go with
now I'm all self-conscious because
Oh my
Kuzma
gosh.
said when you say his name, he sounds like a country singer from the 90s.
it. He kind of
He
does.
might be. I don't know.
Would be an interesting country singer.
Backup singer for Alabama.
What other questions we got? Strongest car?
Jason said who was the strongest car that didn't win?
Brad.
Barry.
No, Barry.
Barry was strong.
That was a strong car when you hit the wall.
Well, they all were. No, I'd say Barry. Barry had either that or Logano. Logano was solid all day long too.
Chastain. No.
I
don't know.
We were.
I feel like, I
actually
feel like
got a
there
fun
was
story.
Bubba was really solid.
I got a fun story about
Bubba was really good.
Bubba
some
was
of our
really
neighbors, right? Because a lot of them are Logano fans, and I'm sitting up there. Brad's going around every time. I'm like, "Oh, Brad!" On top of the camper, being obnoxious, and they look over. They're like, Brad's not gonna win this. He can't do it. I was like, let it be. He'll get it. So then the penalty came out,
Oh.
right? and he went like probably 2 more laps
It was,
without pitting,
yeah.
2 or 3. Dude, they all look over at me like I got the answers. They're like, why isn't he pitting? What's wrong with him? Meanwhile, he's getting pushed at like 200 miles per hour through turn 3. I was like, he can't go anywhere. Like, give the
He
guy
was like
a push.
I think he was in the top lane at that time
Yes,
too.
he was
Like, he
leading
didn't know
the
where to go.
race. Like,
Yeah.
where do you want this guy to go? So he had to like get enough of a jump
Yep.
to
get
come down
into the
to go
bottom.
through and do it. So anyway, he was, running around. Oh, not last. Yeah, I think he was last. Wasn't lapped or anything, but he was like halfway through the pack. So they were running, and they're like, oh, look at him now. Look at him back there. I was like, give it a minute. He's going to miss the big one. He knows what he's doing. Sure enough, there was the big one with McDowell, and it lands right on Logano.
Yeah.
Takes Logano's car out, and they all just look at me. I was like, see, it just takes time, man. He'll be good. Don't let him cook.
The racing gods
Let
are
him
looking
cook.
out for Brad.
Dude, that was hilarious.
If
'cause-
he was up there, he would have straight up probably wrecked.
Well, in our chat, we were talking, and I was behind because I'm obviously streaming it, so like you guys are there.
Yeah, I never thought about that every time
So,
I texted.
yeah,
like
so-
people may have been
Oh, yeah.
behind, and I was just like, "Oh wow, I can't believe this happened."
So I want that when that
They're like-
happened.
they're like-
when that happened,
It's like
I
when
was
you come out of a full screen commercial and the whole field's ranked.
I was like,
totally forgot about
I want to
that.
say I was about 4 laps behind. So
Oh, geez.
it was enough that
I'm so sorry.
I was like, oh, Brad. So I'm texting y'all because I'm
Matt's over-
thinking,
he flipped and DJ's like,
no,
Here comes the big one.
where?
So no, what happens is, and I don't know if you meant it this way or if this was how. So I texted him, I'm like, oh, he is pitting, and I was like, well, he's talking to NASCAR, that's why it's taking so long. Not realizing that for them that
He's
Brad's
already back out.
already back out, and whatever. So I'm texting, and then Matt said something like, it's okay, he'll miss the big one or something like that, or
Yep.
or no, I think you said, oh no. Or did you say that, or did you say he just missed the big one? I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember.
I think
man.
I was under the impression you said he just missed the big one. So I was like, when's it gonna happen? For 4 laps, I'm just like, what's gonna happen? What's happening? And then all of a sudden, McDowell.
It's like going to a haunted house. You know somebody's gonna jump out and get you.
Yep.
You just don't know when.
Can
Yeah.
we talk about that McDowell real quick? I've never seen a car go airborne like that in
that
a
was
corner.
weird.
It was right in front of me. I watched it.
2000.
If I wish I had my phone out and recorded. I straight up saw him turn sideways and go up. I was like, ooh, that shadow got real big real quick. I was like, he's gonna hit the catch fence, just like we were saying last week. We're
He
like, we
parked
don't
it
know
on
how
top
this
of the
car is
wall.
gonna go when it hits the catch fence. Like, what's gonna happen? I was like, well, we're gonna see it now. Thanks, Jake.
Told
you
you.
keep talking.
I told
things
you.
into existence.
Yeah.
you got to
Speaking
speak about Brad. Come on, man.
No, he needs.
Brad will retire.
No, stop it. Breaking news.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
that was wild. I don't.
We
let's
did
see.
have a lady that was just grilling
So-
Matt saying Brad was gonna retire. I don't think she'd ever been to a race.
We'll
before.
get to those wrecks because those were all in stage 3.
You could tell this group, like you said earlier, this was the home Florida track.
Yeah.
There was
This
probably
is a local race.
90% of the fans were Chastain fans.
Oh yeah.
Did you notice that?
Dude, everything in the infield was all Chastain.
Probably 1 out of every 3 campers had a Chastain flag, emblem,
dang.
a watermelon, a
Cutout.
meet and greet, a cutout.
I mean, it makes sense.
everything.
This,
before like the 500, you see 5
Yeah, but
homemade
the-
signs like Ross stop here,
But
free watermelon.
But the
whatever.
500, you've
Yeah.
got, like you said, you got fans from everywhere. You have a lot of old fans that still go to the 500. I feel
Dude,
like
I'm
this
telling
one's
you,
the one
this
that
is
they'll miss.
Chastain's home. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
this is where he's.
Well, I mean, his family was out and about. We met a whole bunch of them.
yeah,
A bunch of people that work on their farm and stuff. We got
Mm-hmm.
Oreo.
That's
hooked us
cool.
up with that.
So, okay.
Introduced us to a lot of people.
Let's continue talking about stage 2. So stage 2, toward the end, you had 2 incidents that happened almost at the same time, and they were talking about this on the broadcast, and they're like, it's kind of weird that these 2 incidents happened, and they're not related, but they couldn't seem to figure out that they were related in any way.
we had this last week.
SVG's
Last week, the whole
engine
tire thing,
blows,
remember?
and Eric Jones' tire goes down in the same lap on the same backstretch, like right around the same point.
I don't know that I've ever seen an engine grenade in the last 20
Quite like
years.
that.
Not like
SVG's.
that.
I mean, that looked like something straight out of Days of Thunder.
Right?
Yo,
Going
yeah.
into turn 3, smoke everywhere. You're just like, what did he say? Just hold it wide open.
dude,
Yeah.
the smoke. I saw. We're in turn 1. I saw it was
Were you in turn 1 or turn 3?
turn 1.
Okay.
I was in turn 1. I was at the camper with Josh.
Okay, I thought you kept saying turn 3, so like that's why I got confused.
No,
Okay.
I wanted to be in turn 3, but with Josh and everything,
Yeah.
it was better just to sit back.
Well, that, and
you
then
know.
like you went over with the colleague people for
Yeah, I
a while.
went over there, hung
Oh,
out
okay.
until their car imploded, and then I was like, "It's time to leave."
Gotcha.
They were a little
This is
upset.
not going to be a good party bus right now.
Matt texted me. He's like, I'm going back to RV. Things are spicy.
So it was one of those things. We were talking to Oreo. He's like, hey, you guys are more than welcome. Everyone's gonna be in the sweet boxes. Everyone's gonna be somewhere else. Like, you're more than welcome. Get on top of the RV for a little bit. Do your thing, and then keep moving. All right, cool, not a problem. So we get there early in the race. There's 2 guys up there. Don't know who they are. We're just like, hey, my name's Matthew. Come on up. Just permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on up. All right, cool. So we're up there chit chatting. Blah blah blah. I don't think they've seen a lot of racing. They were very new to the sport. But as the night went on, 2 turned to 4, 4 turned to like 8, and then there was like 3 kids up there, and that top of that RV got like 15 people real quick, and I was like, Josh, time to move. Like, we're invited guests, so it's time to keep moving. So
yeah,
and it was also right when the 16 decided to implode.
It'd be interesting. I'm curious to hear like a deep dive on why the 16 blew up.
I don't know.
Because I'm wondering, like, could a piece of debris have gone into the intake and caused something?
Maybe
at the same time it caused that tire to go down?
That was what they were saying on the broadcast. They were like, it's those are 2 very seemingly unrelated issues, but it's very weird that they happened at the same time.
But it's the same thing like last week. We had 3 tires.
Yeah.
All go down at the same time.
Yeah, just
that
weird.
was so weird.
Just weird. So I don't know.
And it wasn't like, oh, it's all the same team. They all had same notes on tire pressure.
Right.
From last week. It was 2 Fords and a Chevy. They're not sharing notes.
Well, and this one was a Toyota.
I mean, they could
a
guess
Chevy.
right, but
yeah.
Still.
But I mean, when we saw it last year, when teams got real aggressive with tire pressure, it was like 2 out of the 4 of this.
was that
this
the
team.
only tire incident we saw all race?
No,
there was.
You don't know about Martin Truex?
Truex?
Dude, like every
No,
time he came off
again,
of turn 4, he had a flat tire.
Yeah, it was like he had like 2 or 3 runs where it was like a flat tire.
Interesting.
They didn't talk about it much on the broadcast.
He
but-
So
wasn't
throwing
very
Tic
happy on the radio.
Tacs, or
No.
not Tic Tacs, pin nails?
Thumbtacks?
Yeah, thumbtacks. Thank you. Throwing those out into the track on turn 1
I was trying to
was
get
helping
Brad.
me out. I was taking them down for
It all
Jen.
makes sense.
Get
You
out
gotta
of here,
get the- you
Grandpa.
gotta get the clear one so no one can see it.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my gosh. All right, so moving into stage 3.
Who won stage 2?
Stage 2 was I don't remember.
Logano.
I think it was Logano.
Was it? I don't remember.
No, Cindric.
No.
Okay.
Stop.
Logano.
Yeah, Logano.
Logano.
Logano Blaney.
Yep. Big surprise.
The other thing, building up into stage 3, right?
Yep.
Normally 1 and 2, you hear team orders out the freaking wazoo.
Right.
Like tons and tons of team orders. And there was none. There was no like if you listen to the radios, there's all like, oh, you got 6 of your buddies, meaning you have 6 Chevys behind you. It's not teammates. It's you got these many, Chevys behind you. The only thing I heard was a little bit in the Xfinity series. We were, me and Lewis were talking about this. You would hear them calling out who was behind them or in front of them, and they were calling out only their manufacturer.
Oh, that's
Well, I
weird.
was like, weird. Why would you call out? Oh, like it was like we were listening to Justin Allgaier or something. I can't remember who it was, but like, oh, you got the 8, the 9. They would skip like the 16, or no, not the 16. They would skip like a Toyota and then give out like another Chevy. I was like, why wouldn't you let him know there's another
That
car
is
in the
kinda-
mix?
I guess in case he wanted to make another line or whatever.
But you got to tell him that there's one in there.
I agree.
It was really interesting.
That is weird.
But like the Xfinity that was it, and then on Cup there was no team orders.
This cracked me up. So I
there
sent
was
this in
at
the
the
group.
very end.
So this was a thing I sent in the
Yes.
group, and it was at lap 74, and it was the running order.
Yeah.
And you had
one of these is not like the other.
one of these was not like the other. You had Bubba Wallace at the front. Then you had Todd Gilliland.
You had what,
Michael
9 Fords behind him?
Yeah,
You had,
9
you had
Fords.
Bubba Wallace and a Toyota, and then 9 Fords behind him.
and then Tyler Reddick.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was.
But
it
that was
wild.
just circumstance of how they were racing. That wasn't like team orders of trying to pit together
No.
or nothing.
The Fords did at the beginning of the race did look a lot stronger. As the night went on, they kind of weakened up a little bit.
Yeah.
I felt.
but even I saw like times like Penske, they were not running together. Like they would all get in a line and make a move, and then they would all go their own way.
Yep.
I was like, "What y'all
Yeah.
like? Y'all just drove like so far. Like, why?"
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it was weird.
So
I could get it. Like if they wanted to get up there and get 3 wide, and then start doing fuel saving how they want to, and like manage the 3 wide pack and all be in the lead.
yeah.
That would make sense. But why would you? I don't know. It was it
yeah.
was kind of weird.
Weird.
Moving into stage 3, so Nemechek gets shoved on the backstretch and goes sliding through the backstretch, and a caution comes out. Now, this was the point where DJ's Big Mouth says, "Wow, shark fin works," because
It wasn't needed. You know why? He didn't get rotated far enough.
I guess not, but
Yeah.
he definitely went broadside, and I was like, "Oh man," he was even bouncing. So
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, well, if Shirley and the speed he was going we would have at least seen the back lift a little bit and come back down if the fin wasn't working. So I'm like, hey, the fin's working.
You did text us that.
I did. I had to rescind my comment later. We'll get to that accident. But
Why, DJ?
I'll explain it later.
Because I told him and he didn't listen.
Again.
He told you.
I got to stop listening. I got to stop it.
He's spoken into existence.
He basically goes down into the front or the back stretch, slides down, heading toward the wall, saves it, keeps it completely off the wall, rolls back onto the track, is good to go. They call a caution.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's a little bogus, but I get because the speed he's traveling into the inside
I think
wall.
they called it because anytime somebody spun out and he blew tires, they could either barely make it back or made it back so slow you can't have him coming around that slow. So
Maybe.
You already know he's gonna barely make it back.
You're gonna have to call it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time if you wait 40 seconds, he'll probably be coming through 4. You don't want the pack coming around.
Yeah.
With him still there.
I guess. Yeah. That was my only thing is like, and again, there's a lot of my notes were just like as it was going because this is now basically with 16 laps left to go. So this is toward the end of the race. So I'm just typing everything that comes up. Yeah. So we're at 16 to go. Restart happens. You have Cindric and Brad. Brad jumps the restart. You had that whole debacle.
That was big sad.
Yeah.
Jumps the restart.
Yeah. So
purposely.
Brad was claiming the
I
tires
didn't see it,
spun.
but I don't believe it.
And apparently there was no evidence of that because NASCAR is like, nope, you get out of there anyway.
I don't even know when the 2 launched. Like it wasn't very apparent.
Based on the video I saw, like watching in the replays, it doesn't look like the 2 ever launched.
That's what I thought.
I don't think the whole thing that he spun the tires. I don't believe that. I have to see it because these cars are geared just so low in those first couple gears, and the tire is so wide and the power so low. I feel like it's almost impossible to slide tires on these cars now.
I'm sure it is, but it's just not likely. Like you said, you're already doing 50 miles an hour. It's not like you're
70.
starting 57.
70.
Oh, they're doing 70 at. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I thought they were slower.
10 miles an hour faster.
So imagine cruising down the turnpike or the interstate and you gun it. Like even a car with a lot of horsepower is probably not going to spin.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Yeah. So
especially with a slick tire.
Yeah. So I don't know, but anyway,
maybe. It's possible, but it seems unlikely.
Yeah. So I think he may have been.
Remember that one time we went to the Clash and the whole field spun the tires and wrecked?
Yeah. Good old Clash.
Clint Boyer lost his mind.
Okay, so then we go in and we have a massive wreck with 9 to go where Michael McDowell almost flips over Logano. So he gets a push.
He kind of does.
I mean, he doesn't fully flip over him.
If Logano wasn't there, he would definitely flip.
What do you mean?
No, I mean I think Logano
caught him.
So to me, it looked like he was starting to get a little bit airborne, and then when Logano hit him, that's like what
threw him over.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So I think what's really lucky is if Bowman wasn't. First off, I mean, when was the last time we saw a wreck like that?
It was weird
in the corner.
No,
like you got to go back to like Tony Stewart.
Yeah,
and it's kind of similar, but you didn't have like a whole pack hitting him and rolling him over.
Yeah. I can't think of one that had a wreck like that recently.
I think it's lucky though that Bowman wasn't a little bit further behind, because I think if he hits the nose of Bowman instead of the rear, he keeps rolling either over the whole pack or in the fence.
It's gonna look like NASCAR heat.
You see Bowman's car after the race?
Yeah,
dude, he finished the race, bro. Way to go!
Shocked.
I'm glad he did because I picked him.
Didn't he say something on Twitter or X? He said something like, Alloway, we're going to have to take out a new loan to get more Bondo or something.
Yeah. Note to self, please refill the hauler with Bondo.
That's fine.
What did I say? Alloy? Sorry.
Yeah.
Ally.
The Alloy were the people you were hanging out with.
Yeah. Too many
too many similars.
Allies.
A lot of sponsors.
So yeah, so so again, I'm like, hey, shark fin might be working. No. Because it kept him from flipping over fully. And I'm like, cool.
We're doing great.
And then Jake's like, this is 100% not doing anything. And then...
well, I knew the only reason why that happened, and I'll get into it, the shark fin is making things worse, but continue.
Yeah. So then Josh Berry flips by basically going sideways, broadsiding, and the shark fin does absolutely nothing because he flips just like all the other flips.
I think he flipped easier than anything we've seen in a long time.
I don't know about that, but...
Okay, the Corey LaJoie flip. Everybody's saying he was 190 miles an hour when he flipped.
Did you hear about the headwind thing?
Yes. But they're saying the headwind contributed. There was no wind.
Yeah, no.
And he probably flipped it like 180.
Yep.
So I think it made it worse.
Maybe. It might have. Apparently, I don't know. I don't have any. I was really singing its praises up until this flip, and I was like, it looks exactly the same.
History time. So they added the wicker bill on the other side, right? Or I forget what they called it. It's not a shark fin, but I forget what they
That's
call
what
it.
everyone's calling it.
But they had, back in the day, they had done this before, years and years ago. They added a wicker bill up on top, just like they did. They took it off because it made the flips worse. So that's what, like, when they added, I'm like, what? We've been there, done this 20 years ago. Like, there's
you
no
didn't
need.
tell me that.
We
part of
have
the
new
story.
technology.
Well, and here's the arrow reason why behind it. Because, like what we were talking about last week, is the air has to go over the car and creates that pull effect. Well, now you made it the wing effect, taller.
Yeah.
So now you've created that pressure, that rollover. You've just made it bigger.
I think what they're hoping is that because it's sitting up more, there's air going to get trapped below it, behind it, and that's going to help pull it down.
Obviously not.
But apparently it doesn't do enough.
Just make it about this big.
Yeah, about 6 feet
But,
tall. We need those things for the what is it, the dirt racing where it's the rung what you brung, that one with like it's like a billboard. That's what we need.
The what's interesting, what I was thinking about during this race under the red flag is, like, everybody thinks like the underwing and like the flat part of that is catching the air and pushing it. I don't think it is. I still don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is because it's flat and smooth, the air is able to go straight underneath, and therefore the air going over the top is able to also move faster because you have that pressure.
Maybe.
I think it has nothing to do with the flat bottom. I think it just I think like has nothing to do with it like hitting, like if you put your hand out the window and you know what I mean?
Right.
I think it has to do with the fact that it's flat and the air can rush underneath, and that air that comes over the top just creates more pull. Here's why I say that. The wicker bill made it taller. Barry's car rotated considerably more than Corey LaJoie's from last week. Like, if you look, like, that car went almost a whole rotation before it hit the ground.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, not quite. He was all the way over and then some. Corey LaJoie was over and hit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So the one thing on the broadcast they were talking about with LaJoie, or not LaJoie, sorry, with Barry, was they were because of course they're trying to pull anything positive out of this car at this point. They were talking about the roof, and the roof was not deformed hardly at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was good because obviously Barry landing on his roof, sliding. That was a hard looking hit.
It
Have
looked
you guys
nasty.
seen the clips of it now? Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, it was brutal.
He said it wasn't bad, though, actually.
No, he got out in an
Barry
interview
said,
and was
Barry
like,
said
built
in
different.
post race at the medical center,
Yeah.
he said, it probably looked worse than how it felt because it really wasn't that bad.
They were talking about, like, Jeff Burton was talking about, like, if you're upside down and you're having an impact, only thing that's holding you at that point,
you're hanging in the belts.
hanging in the belts. So literally, like, your seat isn't doing as much for you as it could be, and apparently that actually helped him, which maybe being suspended by the belts, his body was able to move around a little bit more.
I agree with that.
I don't know.
I agree. Back to the comment, like what I'm saying about this air wing, it's interesting that this car goes over and stops upside down.
Yeah.
Like other cars, it would if you flipped, you started a momentum, and even on asphalt like Talladega, Kyle Larson's
Right.
wreck, other people's wreck, like that rolling would start. Or if you think back to like Elliott Sadler back in the
What's
day
up,
when
Jace?
he spun out at Talladega, he went up in the air, and it's like the car it doesn't just roll over and stay there. It's almost like it flips, and then the wing effect is now reversed and stabilizes the car upside down, lands flat on the roof, nearly flat on the roof, slides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you got to think about it, even when he lands on the roof, right before he hits the wall, or Corey LaJoie, you still, even though you're 130, 120 miles an hour, now you still have this arrow effect. You're still doing 120.
Yeah.
Where it's just going to hold it down on the roof. So that's what makes me think like it's got to be some kind of low pressure thing, the way it goes over the roof.
Yeah. So,
have a
it
new
was,
friend.
yeah. Jace jumped in. What's up?
We're in
So
trouble
yeah,
now.
so I was, like I said, so Jake, of course, then in the dark chat was like, "Oh, I told you. See, it sucks. This car's
I told
awful."
you.
I'm glad. That's why I don't go into the grandstands anymore.
Yeah,
He scarred me for life.
he yelled at you
Go
too
yell
much
at
last
someone
time.
else.
Yeah.
I was
So
right though.
so then
You can say it. I won't. It's fine.
the shark fin does nothing. So then
No,
we go.
it makes it worse. Watch next week. You'll be like, the shark fin makes it worse. We're taking it off.
They might. So the
Guys,
overtime
we messed up.
somehow we screwed up.
He told us so.
Yeah, we talked to this guy named Jake. He
our,
told us
our new research and development.
Call me.
it's just Jake
Our
on his
R&D
Simric.
center.
It's just Jake on his Simric This works.
We can fix this. We'll go back to Gen 4 Cup cars. Perfect.
Oh, gosh.
Somehow we
Well, I
made
mean,
it back.
they flipped a lot too, though.
Yeah.
The super win.
So,
The Super
well, I
Bros.
mean, speaking about the flips, I do think it, like Hamlin talks about, like he's like, I'd much rather flip than hit a wall.
yeah, actually,
That's wild.
Barry, McDowell, LaJoy, Hamlin, like nobody's really that concerned about it.
No, it's just like it happens.
Yeah, I just think we're seeing a few too many flips. Like, I think flips aren't necessarily like the worst thing ever. It just seems too easy. And I feel like a flip is not bad until you hit a catch fence or a Ryan Newman.
Do you
flip.
think maybe they're not that bad because they are still going so fast? I mean,
think
you've had that argument where
you're slowly
the
losing
faster
speed.
impacts. Yeah, well, you've had those arguments where the faster impacts are not as worse as the slower ones. So like if they flip somewhere, like remember Buscher's flip at Charlotte?
Yeah,
That was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nasty flip. Like
Yeah.
granted, it was a while ago, but yeah, he was going relatively slow when he decided to.
that's probably
that
still
sucker.
better than hitting a wall and you have all those instant G forces at one moment.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
instead of one 60 G hit, you have 7 or 8 12 G. Slings
You're
around. in
you're
your seat.
sore, but you
Yeah.
get over it in a
It's
couple
like the
days.
same of riding the
Wait,
Hulk.
well, you're talking about like the smaller hit or the big hit.
Yeah.
That's more like about the safer barrier wall. The safer barrier has to have a certain amount of impact to work.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're hitting a steel wall until it starts moving and then it does its job.
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, so that was wild. Glad he's okay, definitely. Okay, so only 6 cars at this point. We're going into overtime, and we have Busch and Burton set are basically starting on the front row. At this point, only 6 cars have not been involved in a wreck
Nice.
out of the entire field.
Typical Daytona.
Yeah,
And somehow Kyle Busch still loses.
We're
yep.
back to Gen 6 numbers.
Man, I was pulling for Kyle Busch so much.
I think everyone was.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I also had him in my fantasy league, so I was like double pulling for him. And I'm like, man, this is it. This is his chance. Everyone else is gone. Like,
I really
it's-
wanted him to win too.
I did.
I was like, this is perfect. I brought Nate to the 500. Byron won, and I'm gonna
Yep.
bring Lewis, and Kyle Busch is gonna win.
Yep. So then,
Going every time.
Oh, by the
The-
way, he was not happy leaving the grandstand.
oh, I'm
No,
sure.
I bet not.
No.
I was like, this is one of the times where I'm glad I'm not taking that 30
you
minute
know,
walk.
like the term beer goggles.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had Busch goggles. Everything Harrison
See
Burton did
red.
at the end was absolutely illegal.
I felt the same way. I'm gonna be honest, and like, I don't know. I don't have the exact rule book here, right? But I always thought you go below the double yellow line, you're in trouble.
Well,
Yes,
NASCAR
that's
said
not the case.
NASCAR said he was pushed below the WL line.
And
I
he
didn't see
was.
anyone
He
push
was.
him.
He was.
He didn't get pushed.
He was 100%.
He threw
pushed.
he threw a block.
Oh, I see. Okay. He got. Okay. Yeah.
You throw
I mean,
a
does
dirty
it-
block.
Can you get pushed if you push yourself?
Yeah.
Unlimited power.
I think you can go wherever you want if you're a leader. I don't know what to tell you, right?
No. So yeah, that was their determination, and they reviewed it real quick because they even talked about it on the broadcast. It wasn't even a full lap, and they had reviewed it and were like, "Nah, he's good."
Yeah.
Because he basically threw a block, and Kyle, to be honest, he threw a heck of a block.
Nice, Kyle.
Kyle should have just dumped him. Kyle even said in his interview, he's like, "There's nothing I could do short of wrecking him." He should have wrecked him, in my opinion.
Nah, no way.
Nah,
Nah. Kyle's not that guy.
but Kyle isn't. Yeah.
Wow.
No,
Not anymore.
We're just gonna lie tonight.
RCR Kyle doesn't do that apparently.
Nice guy, Kyle.
Yeah.
I gotta think there's probably something in his mind a little bit, being a part of races with like Ryan Newman's crash and other
Maybe.
people's, bad crashes and a couple flips tonight that, I mean, if he spins him to get the win and lock himself in the playoff, he could really hurt him,
Maybe.
which is a little respect I think is fair. I think that's all good.
Well, I mean, even a lot of people have talked about it before, or Hamlin specifically, is like, look, like Kyle Busch is one of the most fair drivers out there right now.
that's what everybody said. They've
Yeah.
always said that for a long
Like
time.
he will race you like a dog if you race him that way. But if you don't, you race him clean, he'll race you clean.
Yeah.
Like, and I get it.
He's gonna cry about it, but he'll race you clean.
He actually, on his interview, he was actually in a lot better spirits.
Yeah.
I
like it.
expected him to be kind of,
He needs to come back and be the heel. I want the sound bites.
I do kind of miss that Kyle.
He's actually more mad when his car just blows up randomly than
Right?
losing a race. He's like, I lost one today. But when his car like fails, oh, it's the end of the world.
So he was
It was
talking.
fun. We were listening to him the whole time on the radio,
Uh-huh.
and Lewis is like, he doesn't say anything. I'm like, yeah. And then so like the whole first 2 stages, Kyle Busch said, I mean, all but nothing.
Wow.
And they're telling him like, Kyle, we're gonna come down and get 4 tires and fuel this time. No response. Zero. And then they finally got down to the end, and they're talking about the final pit stop for the final setup, and they're like using code words, and he's like, the crew chief was like, yeah, I think we're gonna go with Adidas here since you're maybe a little bit tight. We're gonna use the Adidas plan, whatever the heck that is. And he goes, okay. And then they're like, well, I don't want, are you sure? Because like, I don't want to do it like, you know, if it's gonna hurt you. He's like, it's fine. Like, what's fine? The car's fine or the chains is fine? And it was like,
A little bit more love here, buddy. Come on.
Yeah, no, he didn't talk at all. And Lewis is like, bro, he just went 40 laps and didn't say anything.
Yeah,
Nothing.
that's super speed. I'm gonna be honest with the radio. I'm on MRN half the time.
I know
it's
you're
pretty
because
fun.
you love all the jokes.
I love the jokes. The dad jokes are hilarious.
Yeah.
How
But-
did the tree surf the web? He logged on.
Oh my god! Stop. Just stop.
Kuzma goes,
I almost fumbled
that's
that one.
because Bush is more of a back marker now. He knows he hasn't been a contender.
Yeah,
mean,
that's
he's
true.
not wrong.
I'll be
You're
honest.
not. Although he did make a comment after Michigan and
Start
even
park.
this after this race. Stop. After this race, where
RCR's found a way back to start part.
Return of the field fillers.
so he was talking about how like after the Olympic break, he's like, yeah, we really like the whole crew kind of took a step back, kind of, and man, at Michigan they were good. They were good here.
Richmond?
Yeah, no, they were okay.
RCR
yeah.
or Bush?
Well, he was referencing RCR, but yeah, you're right.
So
yeah,
Richmond.
I didn't think about Richmond.
I would
But yeah.
agree. I mean, they were pretty good at Michigan, and then he was good at Indy.
Yeah. So
I mean, not best, but you're back to running top 10 speed.
You're trending.
That's how you get back going the right way. Start
Trending in
running
that.
top 10, get that box check, start running top 5, and you'll find yourself in position.
I mean,
to
he
win.
was there was right there at the end. So I
Yeah.
mean, like, it was just, this is the way super speedways are. Unfortunately, it's literally can come down to a move on the last couple turns and change the whole thing.
Yeah.
I
Which
know
is
a lot
exactly
about
what we
that.
saw. So okay, so that's kind of all the notes. So what did you guys think of Burton winning? I know some of our friends at the Racing Addicts were less than thrilled.
Yeah,
I'm happy for him. Like, I love that part of Daytona. I think it's awesome. I don't like how the last place full-time driver is now in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what we were talking about the Racing Addicts. We're like, there's another wasted playoff spot.
there's at least.
I mean,
three.
would you rather? We all wanted Austin Dillon to make it just because they.
Well, we did. They did not.
Yeah. We like the chaos a little bit more than they do, more than most people, because people didn't like our takes.
Really?
But I mean, to me, I would much rather see, Chastain, Bubba, Busher. Chastain, Bubba, Busher. Who else? Who's the other one that's
Gibbs.
close? No,
Gibbs.
Gibbs is probably in.
I think
There was
the next,
one, or Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is
Busch
the other
is the
guy,
next
like
one.
in the mix.
he's
Like, I would
minus
rather
113 points.
no, but I would rather see them in the playoffs than Cindric, Austin Dillon, and
Suarez.
Yeah,
Harrison Burton.
Suarez is the other one.
No, he won second race of the year. Like, it's fine.
honorable, honorable mention.
Yeah.
Suarez didn't come from way
I see what you're
back in
saying.
the
Yeah,
field. Wherever Suarez was after Daytona, it's Daytona.
But Suarez is also not running in the 30s.
Yeah,
Like
no.
Suarez is like
Harrison Burton got
No, he's
locked in
got
the
a top
the teens,
15.
The teens,
Yeah, he's a top 15 car.
So I mean, that's at least like okay, like yeah, it's not someone I'd necessarily want in the playoffs, but like okay,
It's not the guy running dead last in points.
that's my point.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's what's wild is the fact that literally we have the 21 car, and so the first round I think is going to be barring something crazy happening for someone should
Well,
be
we're
pretty
starting
easy.
with
to predict.
Atlanta.
I did hear something funny. Someone was like, he just won Daytona. He's looking for his job. His phones are gonna be lighting up, and I'm like,
Nope.
no, they won't. Not with everyone else coming through this field. It is. You got. I'm sorry. This is NASCAR. You got 2 years to make something of yourself. If you're not, you're already forgotten about. It's just the way of the sport. I mean, we got people being signed up that aren't even truck racing, and they're destined to be in a cup car. It's weird.
Money.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
No,
for
I
sure.
totally get it.
It is crazy.
But I
The
mean-
last couple of years that we've been going to Daytona and kind of get involved with DGM, which this doesn't really pertain to them, but just some of the connections that we've made from all these different people, and you start seeing all the business and everything, you're like, money is literally tied into everything.
Oh yeah.
Everything. It's more about money than anything else.
Oh yeah.
And it's different. Like we see it on the broadcast, you hear it on another podcast, but then like when you see it, you're like,
Wow.
yeah.
That's actually true.
When no, I'm not gonna say that.
Anyway,
People that should have people's backs just don't, but they don't care because as long as the money comes,
Yep.
it's wild.
So,
money, Mr.
so
Krabs.
Kuzman's asking, does Woods Brother just do the bare minimum to get their car to the track now these days?
I just think
No.
Penske pays for it.
Yeah, that's
To be
yeah,
honest,
Penske.
it's Penske's fourth car.
Penske's just like, we're just paying
Hey,
for this.
Penske got all 4 of their cars in the playoffs. I mean, that counts.
When's the last time that happened?
It's been a few years.
So wait. So you're gonna have all 4 Hendrick?
Yes.
Yes. All 4 Penske.
Possibly all 4 Gibbs.
Asterisk.
Almost.
Possibly.
It should be all 4 Gibbs.
Should
Martin
be.
Truex Jr. is locked in on points unless there's a new winner.
Gibbs is really he's high
He's
enough
close.
that he should be good.
I mean, realistically, that's your big three, though. Like that.
Three
makes
quarters of the
sense.
field are locked in by 3 teams.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you have
Trackhouse is one.
I think one of the Gibbs
Trackhouse
guys is not
has
going
one.
to make it.
Trackhouse is one. Front row.
RCR should have one.
No, it's what
Front row.
Trackhouse.
Front row is one. Didn't
No,
McDowell?
No.
they don't have one.
Didn't
Oh,
get
I
one.
thought he did. That was last year, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. Okay. Who's the other one? Who else are we forgetting?
No,
that's
you're
it.
right.
That's it.
14.
That's 13.
So Schwartz is the only one who's not part of the big three. there.
He's the 13 of the winners that are going to the playoffs.
Oh, Brad won too. RFK.
Uh,
Notable mention. Come on.
I mean, you forgot it.
That's a while ago.
I was gonna say we
But
give you a
guess what's
chance.
next week?
Darlington.
Darlington. Let's go.
Yep. So all right. So
My
See you
favorite
there.
track.
so other news we did not put this into the show sheets. SVG is officially going cup racing next year with the 88.
You got to do the thing. We're in NAS news.
Oh, sorry. This is our NAS news section. I didn't have it written down in the show sheet.
Sloppy.
So,
Obviously.
yeah. But yeah. So
You had
he-
one job. Take notes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Producer's fired. First the sound guy, now our
Again.
producer.
Again. He's fired
Look,
again.
we asked Matt to write a few notes. He forgot them all.
Yep.
He,
I wrote a few.
Yeah.
I don't remember writing them, but I
We had a
wrote
good
them.
time at Hooters. So,
So
had
yeah.
him beer
So,
goggles for Michael Waltrip.
so he is going to be running in the 88 car, which I thought was really cool.
I'm hyped. I had to buy it. Yeah, I'm a Trackhouse fan now.
What do you mean now?
The Hendrick.
How many?
Because I was okay team wise.
Do you know how much this screws up my Hendrick shirt? Do you know how much? I bought this shirt
Is
back
it totally gone? The 5's gone.
No, the 5's
Five
still
Larson.
there. Larson's there.
Oh yeah.
But it's got
You know,
wait, what
Kyle
are you
Larson, the best driver in the
breaking
field.
NAS
Totally
news.
forgot about that.
The 5 is gone.
Yeah, we heard.
No,
well,
so-
we did hear some stuff about Hendrick.
So I bought back a long time ago. We went to the Coke 600 where Martin Truex Jr. dominated. I think it was 2017. We went to that one. We stopped by the Hendrick Hall of Fame or their shop, whatever you want to call it. I bought a cool shirt. It was on clearance.
It was
I
a
still
nice
wear
shirt.
it. It's a really cool kind
I
of
wanted it
athletic
too
pair.
when you showed it to me, but I didn't want to be that guy.
Uh,
You found it. It was a good one.
Yep, I earned it. Anyway, it's Hendrick. On the back, it's just got the numbers. No driver's name, just the numbers. Well, at that time, there was the 24, the 48, the 88, and the 5. The 5 wasn't around. The 5 dipped real
Like
quick
that
after.
year. Like that year.
So everyone's like, wow, that's a cool shirt, but the 5's not racing. I was like, yeah, I know. Well, now the 5 came back. That's cool. Now the 88
So the
left.
shirt came back.
Now the 88 left. All right, cool. Whatever. It's supposed to be the 9. No big deal. Well, now the 88's back. So I have 3 Hendrick drivers and 1 Trackhouse on a Hendrick shirt. It's going to be really weird.
And none of the drivers that were racing on that shirt race anymore.
Exactly.
Because that was what originally it was Casey Kane, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr.,
Man.
and Jimmy Johnson.
It really
Yep.
was like the old guard.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
It was on clearance. They must have known.
I think so. So that's funny. Yeah. So no. So Jace is wanting to know. Well, he wants the highlights.
No, he said he just watched the race highlights with a little head exploded.
You
Well, you
should've-
could have watched the
should've been-
race.
you
Could've
should've
been
Yeah,
there.
this was the Coke 0400 air show.
Yeah, that's what I think we're titling the thing. So no, yeah, SVG. I'm super excited. But what I'm confused is this like a part-time, full-time car? Because it's not a charter yet. They
No,
haven't
they
announced.
said it's a full-time third car.
So it's not a charter.
No, they're gonna buy. They have a charter.
I mean, that tells me they're getting one. Yes.
The
That actually
charter
brings up a
deal
question.
they have will be announced when the charter deal is signed.
oh, you think?
They already have a contract to get it signed. They already have a contract that when the charter deal is done, they will pay them, and it's that.
Oh, they're just waiting for the charter to think.
So if for whatever reason it does fail, he's still set.
They're still going to run the car.
Could
It's
you
just-
theoretically
'cause-
run a 36 race non-chartered car?
Yeah.
Could you?
Yeah, but you won't. Make
just won't make any money
No,
off
you'll
of
hemorrhage money.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah,
I was
you
just
will
double-checking.
hemorrhage money because
That's what I thought.
you get massively less payouts at the end of races.
Uh-huh.
You pretty much have to run a super speedway like Cody Ware did yesterday, miss all the chaos and run fourth. That's the only way you're going to even probably break even to make.
I
a
can't
little
believe
money.
Cody Ware finished 4th.
Me neither.
Breaking news. Cody Ware did
back.
something.
Somehow Cody Ware returned.
They're saying this is the
Got a
best
top
finish
5.
ever for Rick Ware Racing.
It was
I'm
a
like,
mi-
this is the first race ever Cody Ware has not spun out.
It's the wing.
Yeah.
It's the extra fin.
It's the fin.
So basically, yeah, you get way less money after each race from the purse, and I don't know if you even get paid into the year point standings.
Ooh, that
I don't know.
hurts.
It's either you do or it's solo.
Oh, yeah, that would be miserable.
And I can attest because of that new game. Live off the end of year standings.
Bro, yeah, right?
The end of year standings is my whole season.
What game are you guys talking about?
All right,
Drafty
so,
car.
NAS news. There was a new game that came out on Android and Apple, right?
Came out this weekend, right?
This weekend.
Ooh.
So I downloaded it real
You
quick
have
because I
to
was like,
download it.
I just want to play it, right?
What's it called? I'll
Apparently,
look it up right
took
now.
over the garage. Everyone's playing
Everybody.
this game. Like Bubba Wallace was playing it. It's the weirdest racing game, but it is a track management game. Like you have
Drafty car?
yeah, drafty car. You
It's
have to
a
get
team
loans.
management. Yeah,
You
there
have to
go.
get sponsors. You have to buy vehicles.
It
You have to
is
repair
sup-
vehicles. You have
it's-
to pay for races. Like
Yeah, you got to pay entry fee.
the race is almost irrelevant. You're just trying to get through the season with money. Like it's kind of wild.
You can tell like it is made straight up for race fans by
Yes.
race fans.
Yes.
You start like I forget what they call it, the
So,
rookie series, but it's like you got to go through
like
Arca,
Arca.
Truck, Xfinity, and then Cup. They all have different names, but
All the sponsors on the cars are what's currently on the cars. Like you can see the 6 car has a Castrol Edge black scheme.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's in like 120p. So you can't see anything. It's just kind of the colors work.
they have funny names. What was the Bush beer car?
Oh, I think they called it like beer drink light. Like it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
clearly the
Beer
Busch-
Light or something?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
clearly the Bush Light with the mountains, but they couldn't put Bush on there, so you could barely read like beer light or something like
Yeah.
that. It's just a really cool game. Definitely recommend anyone just jump on it and try
Hold
it.
on. Here's the Ross Chastain's. I'm trying to see if I can see it.
It looks a little odd.
Mountain beer.
Mountain
Brew.
beer.
Mountain
It's
Mountain
called
Brew.
Mountain Beer.
Mountain Brew. Mountain Brew. Blaney's is the. God, what is that? I'm trying to see. It's the Menards scheme.
It's got to be Menards.
There's
yeah.
the Hendrix Cars 5, but I can't read it. Like it's really tiny.
Yeah. No, that's just how it is in the game. It's got to be sponsored, whatever. But you earn like sponsors in the game, so that's cool. So it's like you'll get halfway through a season and be like, hey, this, like for instance, on my game, I got like Shark Fin Aero Ducks wants to sponsor your car. Here's their sponsor payouts. Do you
That's
want to
funny.
accept? And you can accept or deny. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
like
oh,
a
that's
contract.
cool.
It's actually
Very
like
cool
the
game.
game looks ridiculous, like something straight out of like remember that Daytona
Like an indie
USA?
game. Oh,
Yes.
But it's super in depth, so it's super dope.
I think
Super,
it's
super
what
dope.
NASCAR's been trying to build with their actual game. And this guy just figured out how to do it.
Oh wow, they actually have you if you get out ahead of the pack, you actually have to use your brake. to
You
slow
actually
down.
have to. You got to drag brake because if they hit you from the pack, you wreck the whole field. And you get a
100%.
DNF, and you cannot afford DNFs.
Yep.
Ooh.
I think a DNF. So for me, a DNF in the truck series was a $38,000 bill.
So the
And you had
way,
to take 3 weeks off to repair the car.
yeah.
That hurt.
So you'll see like it's super in depth. I would absolutely encourage everyone to do it. It is an absolute blast.
I'm
Side
downloading right
note.
now.
Download the game whenever you play it. Put on airplane mode. You'll thank me later.
Actually, I did that because of the reason you're saying.
Yep.
When I turned it off, all of my commercials were 5 seconds now.
Well, don't turn it off.
No. When I turned it back on,
Yeah.
it quit giving me long commercials.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Nice. Okay.
You're saying as a way to get around.
it's a little obnoxious.
Commercials, just like NASCAR.
It says very clearly,
Is there full screen ones?
please do not turn off cell phone data. This will, help. Just turn it off.
It will
I had
load-
no
it will
problem.
load
I probably
longer
put
than the
4
ads.
hours.
Yeah, it's fun. No wonder your phone wasn't working.
That's true.
Tap this-
So
any other crazy-
JFB is asking, is it true the crowd was cheering the last place car, the 44? Yes, yes they were.
Oh,
Standing ovation. You know how it is NASCAR. You get a guy.
Oh, yeah.
He gets behind and everybody starts standing up because everybody's been drinking beer or whatever all day, and so the crowd's real rowdy.
You're doing better than Hamlin. Congrats.
It was funny. Like they do that sometimes.
Yep, I did that when I first started because I didn't know who to root for. So I was like, oh look, last place is still going. You can do it. It's just part of the game.
I think it's funny. It's wanting me to race the mountain brew car.
That's the first race you're gonna do, but don't do it right now. We're on a podcast.
I know.
What other news was there this week? Oh, Denny Hamlin penalty. Oh my god.
Yeah, 75,000 points. That's insane.
So
75 points.
I think we did.
That video was funny.
That was hilarious. 75.
That was on our way to Hooters.
yeah, that was a fun
in the
trip.
rain.
Yeah. So no, I fully expect that they're going to appeal that and that he's.
No, they won't.
They won't.
No, they
I
can't.
think TRD is the one who told
They
NASCAR.
self-reported it.
Oh,
So here's the deal: the cars have to run. The teams have to run each motor twice. Basically, there's 38 races. You have to have 36 races with a motor that's been ran at least twice, right? It just comes out to you don't have to use twice a year. You get to have a brand new motor.
Mm-hmm.
Or I should say, actually, it's more than that, but pretty much the whole regular season, you got to run a motor twice.
Okay.
Once you run it twice, you can tear it all down and redo it.
Yep.
The reason how NASCAR manages this, we've seen this when we've been in the garage. They have seals on the engine with NASCAR special seals. If that seal is gone when that car comes back to the racetrack, and it's supposed to have that seal because they're all serialized, they all have serial number, like all the things, like they know. So if they pull up the number for that car, if that's not the first race and it's the second race, that car, you're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah.
So NASCAR actually handed Denny Hamlin and their team the lowest penalty because they self-reported it. So apparently TRD screwed something up and disassembled the wrong motor.
Yep.
I thought it was super sus, but then like Dale Jr. and a couple other people said, no, with them coming out and saying it, it probably is legit.
Yeah.
So, but the way it works though is, I should explain this a little bit better. The first time, like when you bring a brand new motor, it goes through tech. They check it with, what was that thing? The whistle thing. It checks for like any air leaks. They check everything on the motor, and then they put a seal on it right then and there. It's part of like the 7-step NASCAR process to get through tech. So, but then you have to bring that engine has to come back.
Yeah.
At least once.
No, it makes sense.
So this was the third time they used this motor or second time they used it?
Second. They only use them twice.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was, I don't know. It's just weird to me that, I mean, like you said, I'm guessing, I'm like, why in the world would they self-report it? But if there's a higher penalty for it and because they self-reported it,
Oh, yeah.
that's the lower one. I was laughing at Matt's video because he's like, yeah, man, Denny this, that. I'm like, it wasn't Denny that did this.
No, it was all TRD.
No, I know.
But
It's just fun.
I just thought it was funny.
I mean, any chance to pick on Denny Hamlin
Yeah,
is always a
but
blast.
man, talk about a blow when he's having probably the year of his career.
All in, baby.
And he's all in for the penalties, I guess.
Round of 16, I'm telling you.
You know what? When I met Denny Hamlin this week, I should have asked him, the hell were you doing, bro?
What's wrong with you?
Kuzman asked, how did NASCAR not realize the motor wasn't sent to them after the second race? Because it hadn't been run a second time yet. It did Bristol, one Bristol, and then, which didn't have to be tore down because it already passed tech, and then it would be, it would be checked again later. So I don't know when they're going to run it. Maybe New Hampshire, maybe Bristol coming up. I don't know. But
I'd run in Bristol again. Why not?
I mean,
That makes sense.
It won last time. Why not?
So
The shoe fits.
So are they going to be able to run that engine now, or are they going to have to?
that's a great question. I have no idea.
Yeah, I wonder. Like, is it just like, oh no penalty, but you can still run it?
Dude, the 10 playoff points. Ouch.
That's
What do you do? Like, oh, you can't run that motor, so you get a brand new one, or you don't get.
No, they
you
probably
can't use that motor,
had to
so
bring
you
that
have.
one back and get it reteched.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
Not sure. Them cheating yoders. That's an old school phrase. I was gonna say something.
Austin Dillon, obviously his appeal.
Well, I was gonna say before that, they did say if the Bristol was Denny Hamlin's only win, this penalty would have removed him from the playoffs.
Another encumbered win.
He would have kept the win, or not kept the win. No, I think they took the win away.
No,
I
I don't think they took the win away.
They said that this would have made him, he would not have playoff eligibility
Maybe if they didn't report it.
if he didn't have other wins.
Wow.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they didn't take it away.
Or it wouldn't be the win in you're in thing. I don't know. It's complicated.
I'm
Apparently.
so tired of that.
NASCAR has very complicated rules.
Well, it's very simple now. Even last place can get in.
If they give it to MJT, he'll blow it up.
That's what they should have
I
done.
think he's just doing it on purpose now, to be honest. I think he's like, let me just hemorrhage Joe Gibbs just a little bit more and blow
Just
up another end.
downshift.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what happened. Somehow,
Martin, what is your MS or
your RPM.
No. What's the data they use?
SMT.
SMT data showing. He said, don't worry about it. Downshift.
Why do you keep downshifting in the backstretch?
Hey, Martin, we just showed your engine just hit 20,000 RPMs.
Yeah.
Yep, don't worry about it. It's fine.
How's the
What were
oil?
you saying about Austin Dillon? Oh, yeah, there was news about that.
His appeal,
He
basically,
lost.
they lost.
But they're gonna appeal again.
Yep, there's another appeal where this goes to, what is it, like the motorsport?
It's the same committee, but it goes to like the chairman or whatever for like a final appeal. One guy.
They have to. They have to try.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I hope he changes his mind.
That would be wild.
You know what? You're right.
I don't know much about Langley Speedway, but it's not notoriously like for being like a real rough track. But the final appeals officer is the president or CEO, I forget his exact title, of Langley.
Interesting.
Yeah, if it was Bowman Gray, Austin's in.
For sure. No,
He
like
actually gets 2 wins.
so I forgot who it was talking about it, and they were saying that the issue is it's going to be very hard to overturn just because it's an opinion of NASCAR. Like the rule is an opinion of NASCAR.
It's too gray.
Yeah, so if it's too gray, like how are you going to say, "Oh, well no, NASCAR's wrong," because it's their opinion. Like the ruling is their opinion. So I don't know.
It's annoying.
Definitely wild.
No more news.
MJT doing the 500 next year with 2311 maybe?
That's a
Oh,
rumor. I did
still-
hear that
still
actually.
a rumor.
I
Did we
heard
talk
that
about
from
Daniel
people
Dye?
that kind of know what they're talking about. That sounds very likely.
Daniel Dye going over to Spire.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah. Good news.
Is it Spire
I thought it was
or
Spire.
colleague in
Colleague.
Xfinity?
Oh my gosh.
I'm confused.
You're the ones that told me. I thought you
Here's
said
the
colleague.
problem. We found out from a good source the night before and didn't care about when they released it on social media. I forgot.
We'll say
It doesn't
Spire.
matter. He's going somewhere. He's going somewhere else. Let's put
Check
it that
out
way.
next year for Daniel Dye.
Yeah.
Get your 7 merch now.
All right. Do you guys have? Stop.
Y'all see Jeff Gluck's poll? 10% of people said it wasn't a good race. What's wrong with them?
Those are bots,
He likes your drag racing.
They probably are bots, bro.
or they're Hamlin fans.
Probably Logano fans.
Logano, Hamlin, all those. All right. You guys got anything you guys want to add before we wrap things up?
Do we want to quickly touch on some of like what we did in camping? Over there?
Yeah, I thought we kind of did a little bit, but we can touch on.
I'll
more.
let you lead it because there's a lot of stories. I just don't know what we can say.
Nah.
So I'll let you lead.
No, we're good.
All right.
Oh, wait. The Michael Waltrip thing.
Oh, that
fun.
was cool.
Michael Waltrip.
So I yelled at Michael Waltrip.
He did.
Right. So we went to Hooters, right? Because they were having a giveaway of diecast. They had 3 Elite Series diecast, a Chastain, a
Martin Truex Jr. and
Truex.
a illegal
Elliott.
Chase Elliott Hooters. That is-
Illegal?
well, it's under lawsuit.
I don't even know this. What are
How do you
talking-
not
Oh, the
know?
Hooters one. Oh, yeah. Okay.
They're
Yeah, I
suing
got you. I
him,
got you.
yeah.
Anyway.
Oh,
So,
we can bring that up. Hendrick is suing Hooters for $1.7 million.
nice.
That's wild.
So we went to Hooters, right? Well, given we sat there for had to have been 35, 40 minutes.
It was
Not
terrible.
a single server came to us.
We
They
asked
went
3
to-
times.
I asked several servers. I was like, "Hey, do you know who our server is for our table?" No, you have to go talk to the hostess. I'm like, "Well, I'm not getting them. I'm here for free diecast. If you don't serve me, I don't pay. I don't really worry about it. It's like whatever."
And it's raining, so
And
we're
it's
not
raining.
leaving.
Cool thing was Michael Waltrip was there, and they had his brew on what is it called, Talladega Light.
Talladega Light.
Talladega Light. They had it in cans and on draft. So we're like, hey, let's. When we finally got a server, which was 40 minutes later, we're like, hey, can we get 2 of those? So Michael Waltrip gets up there and he introduced, thank you all for coming out here. You couldn't hear him.
And we
at
weren't
all.
that far away.
No, it was like a little patio. We would be 25, maybe 30 feet away.
25, 30 feet.
Few tables, maybe. I straight up told him, I was like, can't hear you. Turn up. So he's like, can y'all hear me back there? And I'm like, no. So they turned it back up. Apparently, the mic was loud. We could hear the band that was playing, but you couldn't hear Michael Waltrip. So
Well,
they
the
must have
thing
turned
is-
it down or something.
No. You can't talk away from the mic. Like, if you got to be on a mic, you got to be.
Oh, yeah, Michael
Especially
Waltrip's a tall guy.
a vocal mic that you're singing into. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't be like way out here.
Yeah, 100%. So he does the whole thing. All was
You're
good.
so brazen. Just, hey, I
No.
can't hear you.
I can't hear him.
No.
He's giving out the numbers for a Chastain diecast, an Elite Chastain diecast. I want to know the number.
Yeah,
So
I wanted that one.
he does his whole thing. He only announces the first number, and then he like walks and like goes down the patio area. And I don't know how we flagged him down. Did we just say like, "Hey, the beer's good"?
And
or-
he was just walking by. I was like, hey, can we get a photo?
Did you ask him for a
Yeah.
photo?
Okay,
Okay,
he was
so
like, oh yeah, absolutely. I
So,
was like,
yeah,
we had a
Matt,
couple years.
were you there?
I was, but there was a lot
Well,
going on. So we were
Typical Daytona.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So he was like, "Oh, you guys are enjoying, my beverage," and I was like, "It's actually really good." I thought it tasted a lot like a natural Budweiser. I was like, "That's a pretty solid beer," So we took a quick photo, and then he also came out. He's like, "Man, this is so cool! It is such an honor to have race fans."
He said, it's always been my dream for race fans to enjoy my beer.
There you go.
And then he handed us his phone
To take a
pass to the
photo.
lady that was taking our photo. And so we take the photo. He takes the photo. I was like, that's cool. He wanted our picture.
He's got a photo of us on his
How
phone.
about that?
Yeah.
He didn't even know he met celebrities.
Yeah, basically. So that was cool. They gave away the other diecast. We didn't win
Wait,
any.
no, you forgot about the end. After he walks away, Matt's like,
Matt,
I
what?
just had his phone. I could have got all the stuff.
No, Michael
can I tell you-
Waltrip literally told someone, "Do you know who they are? That's here for the speed."
Basically.
Michael Waltrip is basically the same person on the truck broadcast in person.
That's not
Oh, yeah.
surprising.
100%.
All the things. He reads the first ticket, and it's 40 people there tops. There's not many people there.
No.
It was raining.
They were still kind of setting up. It was the first day. Like,
Yeah. The
it was a weird
he comes
time.
out like the first ticket, puts on his glasses. He goes, "Okay, the first number is TICKET," and it's like, "Okay, we're back in the truck booth."
That's
No,
funny.
that was pretty good. So yeah, we didn't win anything.
And JFB says we should have signed something for him.
sign a
Sign your
napkin,
phone.
sign a napkin, and hand it to him. Here, that's
Yeah,
for you.
imagine he handed his phone like, "Okay, let me get my Sharpie. Here you go."
You got to watch it when I get into autograph mode.
Oh my
So
god!
full
So that
Talladega
was
Nights on
cool.
him.
I think the coolest thing was the last diecast to go out was the Martin Truex Jr. diecast, and the kid that won it was a Truex fan. He had the
that's
19
cool.
hat and the 19 gear.
That was cool.
That was like, hey, that's fair. That's really cool,
Yep.
man. So he
Glad
took a
he
cool
won it.
photo and move forward. So that was
I
a
thought
fun
about
little
going
night.
to Lionel Prep and be like, "You want this thing on YouTube on Sunday? Here's my number.
Yeah, right.
Call me out. Call my number."
I did ask him. I was like, "Hey, so you guys are going to be here the next 2 days?" He's like, "Yep." It's like, any idea what you're giving out the next 2 days? Like, is this going to be worth it for me to come back?
He's like, "I think we have two, but they're."
He's like, "It's
We're
whatever."
like, "All right, well now we're definitely not coming back."
All right, sounds good. See you.
See you later.
Enjoy your lawsuit.
Yeah. I hate to tell Hendrick this, but based on what I've heard, they will not be getting much money from Hooters.
Doesn't sound like.
I think
Nope.
they're going to be in bankruptcy before long.
I mean, they
so
could sell some buildings, maybe.
maybe they need to sell
Um,
some more calendars.
What else?
Yeah, apparently
So
the
that was
Hooters at Daytona is turning into a Twin Peaks.
scenic views. Let's see. So Wednesday we didn't get down. We got down to Wednesday. Said hello to all the friends.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. Thursday we mainly did the Hooters thing. Same thing.
That was
just
it. It was
kinda hung out
rainy
in
the whole
field.
time. It was nice
Yeah.
and cool, but it was rainy. So we tried to set up the pool. Dude, these one people, they were a few campsites down. They had the hose all day.
Yeah, that was.
So if
super
you don't
weird.
know, at Daytona, like you get a communal hose, right? There's one hose.
Hold on,
Everyone
hold on,
shares
hold
the
on.
hose.
This is like watering, like water hose.
Yeah, it's like 100-foot hose, and it goes to all the campsites,
wanna
to
make
fill
sure.
up the tank or fill up a pool or whatever. I swear, I checked at 10 o'clock in the morning. It was dragged.
No, they
across
had
the
it for
street.
5 hours.
They had it forever. So
we
it was
filled
like
up our pool, which was bigger.
30 minutes.
Yeah,
30 minutes tops. So
they filled up the wrong. I hope
I don't
they
know
didn't screw
what
up
they
their
did.
thing because
Oh.
they said they put the hose in the wrong thing.
no, but I went over at like 12 o'clock. So it was
They were
10
all
to
climbing
12.
underneath it, trying to figure it out.
Oh,
Yeah, they might have
no.
messed up.
Yeah. So it
Oh.
was like from 10 to 12.
That's a big
I went
mistake.
over at 12 and I said, "Hey, we want to fill up our pool. Like, can we get this going?" The hose is in the dirt and it's just flooding the ground. At Daytona floods, the infield floods. It turns
It
to
doesn't
mud.
hold water real well. Yeah.
No. It's just it's raining on top of that. And their pool's maybe 8 inches of water for a whole little inflatable pool. I was like, "So can I get the hose?" He's like, no, we got to fill up and then we got to run to the grocery store. I'm like, "Okay, well, let us know." So we waited another 2 or so hours and I go back out there and the pool's almost done. We're like, "All right, let's wait till like after our lunch or dinner, whatever time it was then." And it's like, "All right, we'll go back over." So it was like another hour we go back over and they're filling up their RV. And I'm like, "We're done. We're done."
Yeah.
We went across, we went to the hose that's closer to them, got that, connected it to our bib, and then filled up our pool. I was like, "I'm done playing with these fools."
No. And then as soon as we did that, like,
First time
"Oh,
campers.
sorry guys, you need it."
Yes.
Like,
You guys.
they're like, sorry, it's our first time. We're still trying to figure things out. I'm like, bro.
It's water. It's,
I was like, one, I think
it's
you're
not
lying. But two, anyways, Friday was fun. Josh and Parker came down on Friday.
Yep, that was a lot of fun. It was cool having Parker there.
Matt made the best food.
Parker's my brother-in-law, and I've been trying to get him to a race for a long time. And he finally committed and wanted to go. And he hung out for a day. We partied a little bit. We had fun. He got to watch the Xfinity race. I got a really cool video of him watching one of the wrecks, and you could see he was in it. Like, he was like, oh, there they go. Boom, they hit the wall and stuff. He's like, no. So he was freaking out. And then he looks at me and he starts laughing. I was like, gotcha. Because he didn't know I was like videoing it. But I was like, I know there's going to be a wreck here, like a lap or two. You could tell. You could feel the tension.
You can always, there's that tension in the air.
I knew like the whole McDowell thing. I was like, they're going to wreck. They're bumping way too hard. I just didn't have my phone ready. It was right in front of me. I was like, golly, man, that would have been great. So.
Yep. Oh, we didn't say this. On Saturday, we got VIP passes. Did we talk about it?
You just mentioned it, but you didn't.
Oh, yeah. So
you
we
got to meet some friends.
We mentioned it. Yep. We may have snuck backstage driver intro.
You already said that.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
You guys must not remember much of the beginning of the show.
No.
Was that before YouTube?
It might have been. There was some stories before YouTube.
Anyways, we did a bunch of fun stuff. You guys got to come with us to Daytona next time, especially you.
Yeah.
Oh, a fun fact. We actually ran into Ross Chastain's dad. There's a story behind it, but we ran into him, said hi real quick, said Ross is great. We'll see him at Talladega, or hopefully he does good at, where are we going? Darlington. And he's like, yep, he'll do good there. And he just kept going. It's like typical farmer looking guy, just with the blue Wex, whatever this car is, Worldwide. And I was like, hey, that's Ross's dad.
Worldwide Express.
So good stuff. Good stuff for sure.
Fun weekend.
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
we're tired. It was a long week.
No, you guys are.
I really wasn't that tired until about a couple hours ago.
I'll tell you, our neighbors last night were bumping dubstep till 4 a.m. It was a little obnoxious.
I didn't know that. I slept right through it.
There's no way.
Well, when you drink enough, that's
it was louder than the flyover.
We decided to go out on one more cruise around the infield. Got back at like 3 a.m. I was done. I was tired.
Yeah,
I was finally burnt out.
And then 5 o'clock, Josh's alarms all went off again. I'll tell you, there's not a lot of sleep.
I didn't wait for that either.
Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
So,
all right. Well, it's been fun, everybody. It's been fun hanging out with you guys.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead.
All right. Like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. We'll see you guys next week after Darlington. Take it easy, y'all.
Yeah.